what if I told you that cashing your very first retirement check at age 62 could mathematically cost you over $180,000 before you die?
I mean, it is a staggering amount of money to just leave on the table.
Right.
We spend decades agonizing over 401k allocations, scrutinizing mutual fund fees, tracking the stock market. But then we treat our Social Security claiming strategy as an afterthought.
Yeah.
Or worse, like an emotional reaction based entirely on panic.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are taking on the single biggest financial question of your late career. Do you take your Social Security money the absolute second you are allowed to at age 62? Or do you hold out until the maximum age of 70?
Which is an irrevocable decision
Yeah.
that permanently alters the trajectory of your retirement and, potentially your spouse's retirement as well.
Exactly. To figure this out, we aren't just looking at a single opinion. We are synthesizing a massive stack of data and reports from the Social Security Administration, AARP, and wealth advisors like Vanguard, Mariner, Thrivent, NerdWallet, and Assembly Wealth.
It's a lot of material.
It is. So the mission today is to shortcut all that overwhelming financial jargon. We're going to dig into the hard math, factor in the health and lifestyle variables that spreadsheets usually ignore, and pressure test some of the most popular expert strategies.
Like taking the money early just to invest it, which we see a lot.
Yes, definitely hitting that one.
Yeah.
Whether you are prepping for your own retirement right now or helping a loved one navigate this maze, we want to give you the actual mechanics behind these decisions.
Because the biggest trap people fall into is assuming this is purely a math problem.
Right.
It's really not. It's actually a behavioral psychology problem that's just wrapped up in financial rules.
So true. Well, let's start with the baseline math just so we're all on the same page.
Okay.
We all know 67 is the magic full retirement age, or FRA, for anyone born in 1960 or later. That's the milestone where the government says, you are finally entitled to 100% of your calculated benefit.
Exactly.
And if you claim at 62, your benefits are permanently slashed by up to 30%.
Yeah. But what most people gloss over is the aggressive incentive the government offers if you just wait.
Yeah, they offer an 8% annual delayed retirement credit.
8%?
Right, guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
For every year you delay claiming past your full retirement age, your base benefit increases by 8% until you hit age 70.
Wow.
So waiting from 67 to 70 means you lock in 124% of your original benefit.
That is huge.
It is. You're basically choosing between a permanently reduced check for a longer period of time or a significantly maximized check for a shorter period of time.
Which brings us to this critical concept of the break-even age.
Yes, the break-even point.
It's the inflection point where patience mathematically pays off. NerdWallet and Assembly Wealth put a huge emphasis on this in their reports.
Because it's the core of the decision. The break-even age is simply the point in your life where the cumulative dollars you receive from waiting finally surpass the cumulative dollars you would have received by claiming early.
Okay, can you give us an example?
Yeah, Assembly Wealth illustrates this with a brilliant hypothetical about two twins, Avery and Robin.
Okay.
Both had identical high-earning careers. Now, Avery decides she wants her money immediately and claims at 62.
Got it.
So she locks in a permanently reduced benefit of $2,680 a month.
So Avery is pulling in cash for 5 full years before her sister even sees a dime.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Robin waits until her full retirement age is 67. Her monthly check is going to be $3,829.
Okay.
But by the time Robin receives her very first check, Avery has already collected over $160,000.
Wow. That feels like an insurmountable lead. I mean, if I'm Avery, I'm looking at my sister thinking I clearly made the better choice.
It feels that way because of human nature, right?
Yeah.
We value money in our pocket today way more than future money.
Right. The bird in the hand.
Exactly. But Robin's monthly check is over $1,000 larger. Month after month, she is closing that gap.
So she's catching up.
Rapidly. The math shows Robin will completely catch up to Avery in total lifetime dollars just before they both turn 77 years old.
Okay.
And from age 77 onward, Robin is mathematically wealthier every single month.
Okay, let's unpack this for a second. It's like choosing between a smaller slice of pie right now or waiting for a massive slice later.
That's a great way to put it.
But the catch is, you don't know how long the dinner party will last.
Exactly. Lifespan is the ultimate wild card.
So if I push that timeline to the absolute maximum, comparing someone who claims at 62 against someone who waits all the way until 70, what does that look like?
That break-even point typically lands around age 80.
Age 80. Okay, so if I know I have a family history of living into my 90s, claiming at 62 means I am literally leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table, right?
Hundreds of thousands,
Yeah, wow.
potentially. The Social Security Administration's own data highlights that 1 in 3 65-year-olds today will live to be at least 90.
1 in 3.
Yes. So if you fall into that demographic, delaying until 70 is simply the most lucrative financial move available to you.
Okay, I understand the baseline math, but I have to push back here.
Go for it.
Because there is a very vocal contingent of aggressive investors who look at that system and say, you know, why would I let the government hold on to my money?
Oh, the invest in early crowd.
Right. Their counter strategy is to take that smaller check at 62, refuse to spend a single dime of it, and plow it directly into the stock market.
That's a very popular theory.
But I'm assuming the catch here is that an 8% return in the market is never guaranteed, right? Like, what if my investments do incredibly well? I mean, I'm in control of the money.
You are in control, but you've identified the exact flaw in the strategy. The temptation to try and outsmart this system is incredibly strong.
Yeah.
Mariner Wealth Advisors actually ran a comprehensive projection on this exact scenario.
Oh, perfect. What did they find?
They modeled a retiree A who claims early at 62, receiving $2,794 a month. Retiree A invests every penny of that check into the market, achieving a steady 8% annual return.
Okay, so over 8 years, compounding month after month, that has to grow into a massive pile of liquid cash.
It does. By age 70, retiree A's investment account sits at an impressive $361,796.
Wow. Which sounds like a total victory for claiming early. You have over $1/3 that you can access at any time.
Right, but we have to measure that against retiree B, who patiently waited until age 70 to claim.
Okay, let's hear the countermath.
Retiree B's delayed Social Security check is $4,950 a month.
Wait, really?
Yes, retiree B is receiving $2,156 more every single month than retiree A.
That is a huge monthly gap.
Exactly. Because of that immense monthly cash flow, retiree B doesn't need to touch their savings as much. So that $361,000 advantage, it gets completely erased in just 13 years.
Wow.
By age 83, retiree B has completely caught up.
And past age 83, I imagine it gets much worse for the early claimer.
Significantly worse. By age 90, retiree, the aggressive investor, is trailing the patient, retiree B, by over $181,000.
So taking it early to invest is essentially like trying to outswim a motorized boat. I mean, you might get a massive head start off the dock, but the compound interest of delaying to 70 is a mechanical motor that will inevitably run you down.
That is a phenomenal way to visualize it. And it brings us back to the risk you mentioned earlier.
The stock market risk.
Right. Mariner's projection assumes a flawless, uninterrupted 8% return every single year.
Which never happens.
Never. That assumption ignores a critical financial mechanic called sequence of returns risk.
Explain that for us.
Basically, if the stock market drops 15% during your first 2 years of claiming and investing, your compounding engine is broken right out of the gate. You are trying to grow a depleted principal.
Ah. Whereas the government's 8% delayed retirement credit has zero volatility. It sounds like we're comparing a guaranteed government return of 8% per year to the absolute roller coaster of the stock market.
Exactly.
One is a sure thing, and the other requires an iron stomach.
The 8% government credit is legally guaranteed. It does not care what the S&P 500 is doing.
Right.
And look, that doesn't even factor in the behavioral trap.
What do you mean?
Well, if you get a check for nearly $3,000 a month, human nature makes it incredibly difficult to invest every single penny of it for 8 straight years.
Oh, absolutely.
A medical bill pops up, the roof needs fixing, you want to help pay for a grandchild's college. The second you divert that money from the investment account, the math of claiming early completely falls apart.
Yeah, life happens. Okay, so if outtrading the Social Security Administration is basically a losing battle, and the math highly favors waiting for a long life, what legitimate factors outside of a spreadsheet should drive you to take the money early?
Health is the absolute primary driver. Like we said, the break-even age hovers around 77 to 80. If you have chronic health issues or a family history of shorter lifespans, and you realistically do not expect to reach your late 70s, claiming early is absolutely the correct move.
So you just have to be brutally realistic about your own timeline.
You do. You need to extract the value from the system while you're alive to actually benefit from it.
That makes total sense. But what if the math of waiting is actively being destroyed by math happening outside of your retirement accounts? Like, say, a mountain of credit card debt.
That's a great point, and Thrivent's report focuses heavily on this.
Okay.
If you're carrying a large balance on a credit card charging, say, 24% interest, that debt is compounding against you much faster than your delayed Social Security credits are growing for you.
Right, 24 beats 8 every day of the week.
Exactly. So claiming early to wipe out high-interest debt is a highly effective strategy. You are stopping the financial bleeding.
It's basically financial triage.
Yes, exactly.
So what does this all mean for someone who is 62 and still working full-time? Does the earnings limit mean claiming early is actually counterproductive for them? I hear so much confusion about people who claim early but decide to keep their day jobs.
Well, it is probably the most misunderstood mechanic in the entire Social Security framework.
Really?
Yes. It's called the annual earnings test.
Okay. How does it work?
If you claim your benefits before your full retirement age and you continue to work, the government caps how much you're allowed to earn.
Okay.
For 2026, if you are under your FRA for the entire year, that earnings limit is $24,480.
Wow, that is incredibly low. I mean, a part-time consulting gig or working retail could easily push you over that line.
Easily. And the penalty for crossing that line is steep. For every $2 you earn over the limit, the Social Security Administration withholds $1 of your benefit.
Okay, let's break down the actual mechanics of that withholding, because this is where I think people really panic. Let's say I earn $44,480 at my job.
Okay.
I am exactly $20,000 over the limit. According to the formula, the government is going to penalize me $10,000.
Correct.
How do they actually take that money? Do they send a collection notice? Do they garnish my wages?
No, they do something much more disruptive to your cash flow. They literally just stop sending you your Social Security checks at the beginning of the year until the penalty is fully satisfied.
Wait, they just halt the checks?
Yes. If your monthly benefit is $2,000 and your penalty is $10,000, you will receive $0 from Social Security for January, February, March, April, and May.
Oh, wow.
Your very first check won't arrive until June.
So you have willingly locked in the permanent 30% lifetime reduction for claiming at 62, but you aren't even getting the checks in your mailbox to help your current cash flow. That sounds like a complete trap.
It acts like a trap for your immediate budget, definitely. But we have to clarify a crucial detail here because people get this wrong all the time.
Okay, what is it?
The money they withhold is not a tax. It doesn't just disappear into a government black hole.
It doesn't.
No. When you finally reach your full retirement age at 67, the SSA looks back at all those months where they withheld your checks and they recalculate your base benefit.
Oh, really?
Yes, they adjust it upward to give you credit for the months you didn't actually receive a payment.
Oh, okay, so the earnings limit feels like a penalty box, but it's really more like a forced savings account. Just a highly inefficient one because it wrecks your monthly budget.
That's a perfect analogy.
Right.
And because it wrecks your budget, the overwhelming consensus among wealth advisors is clear.
Which is?
If you are still working full-time and earning a solid salary, just delay claiming your benefits.
It makes sense.
At the very least, wait until your full retirement age. Because once you hit 67, the earnings limit vanishes completely.
So no more caps.
Right. You can make $3 million a year, and they won't withhold a single cent of your Social Security.
Okay, let's pivot to married couples. Because, this decision rarely happens in a vacuum. You aren't just managing one lifespan, you're managing two overlapping timelines.
Right, it gets complicated.
How did the experts structure a plan when a couple has two completely different earning histories?
Vanguard advocates for an approach called the split strategy.
Split strategy.
Yeah. When you have a lower earning spouse and a higher earning spouse, the goal is to balance immediate cash flow with long-term protection.
Right.
So under the split strategy, the lower earning spouse claims their benefit early, perhaps right at 62.
Okay, that brings a steady stream of income into the household immediately, which takes the pressure off their 401k withdrawals.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the higher earning spouse delays claiming their benefit. They wait until full retirement age, or ideally, all the way to age 70.
So they let that 8% annual credit compound on the largest possible base.
Yes. But the true genius of this strategy isn't just about maximizing the couple's income while they are both alive.
Okay, what is it about?
It is entirely designed around survivor benefits.
Mm. I'm assuming the catch here is that when one spouse passes away, the surviving spouse doesn't get to keep both checks, right? They drop down to a single income stream.
That's exactly what happens. When a spouse passes away, the surviving spouse steps into the deceased partner's shoes, so to speak.
Mm.
The smaller of the two Social Security checks disappears entirely, and the surviving spouse is entitled to keep the higher benefit.
Let me make sure I'm fully visualizing the impact of this.
Sure.
If I'm the higher earner and I impulsively claim at 62 to, I don't know, buy a sports car,
Right.
I permanently shrink my benefit. So if I die first, I am permanently kneecapping my surviving spouse's income for the rest of their life.
Yes, you're leaving them severely financially compromised.
Wow.
By delaying to age 70,
Yeah.
the higher earner locks in a massive, mathematically maximized monthly check. They are effectively purchasing a massive, government-backed life insurance policy for their spouse. It guarantees that the widow or widower will have the highest possible income floor, regardless of what happens to the stock market.
Let's make sure I have this straight. The split strategy is essentially a brilliant hedge.
Yes.
You get one bird in the hand now with the lower earner, but you're securing two in the bush later to protect the surviving spouse from poverty in their 80s or 90s.
Perfectly said.
But what if someone acts out of fear? They claim at 62 and then 10 months later realizes they've made a terrible mistake. Are they permanently locked in?
You'd think so, but Vanguard's report highlights a fascinating escape hatch called the reset rule.
The reset rule.
Yes. You are not permanently locked in, provided you act within a very strict window.
Okay.
If you apply for early benefits and then regret it, maybe you realize you hate retirement and want to go back to work, or maybe you inherit money, you have exactly 12 months from the day you filed to change your mind.
Okay, so I have a 1-year grace period. Do I just call them and pause the checks?
It requires a bit more than a phone call. You have to formally withdraw your application, and you must repay every single penny that the Social Security Administration has paid out to you.
Wait, really?
Yep, or to any family members drawing on your record.
Every penny. So I have to write a massive check to the government.
You do, but the repayment is entirely interest-free.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and once the money is repaid, your record is wiped completely clean. It is treated as if you never claimed at all, and your benefits go back to growing 8% a year.
Wow.
It gives you a moment to breathe, but you obviously must have the liquid cash on hand to actually execute the reset.
Right. You can't have already spent it all on that sports car.
Exactly.
Well, we've covered incredibly dense territory today. We've mapped out the baseline math of the 30% reduction versus the 124% maximum.
Yeah.
We exposed the flaws in trying to outinvest the government by taking the money early, specifically the devastating impact of sequence of returns risk. We laid out the reality of the earnings limit withholding your checks if you keep working, and we explored how Vanguard's split strategy protects a surviving spouse.
We covered a lot.
We did. So before we wrap up, what is the one underlying mechanic from all these reports that people really need to take away?
I think you need to think about the physical impact of future inflation.
Okay.
Throughout every single source we examined, they factor in the annual cost of living adjustment, or KEEK-OLE.
Right, the Kikole.
Historically, it averages around 2.8%.
Yeah.
But we've all seen how quickly inflation can spike and just completely erode purchasing power.
Oh, yeah. We felt it at the grocery store and the gas pump. Prices explode, and a fixed income suddenly feels incredibly fragile.
Exactly. But notice how the math actually works with Social Security? Those annual KEEK-OLE percentage increases compound on your base benefit.
Okay, so how does that change things?
Well, if you claim at 62 and lock in an artificially small base benefit, say $2,000 a month, a 3% inflation bump is only an extra $60.
Right.
But if you delayed to 70 and secured a massive base benefit of $4,000 a month, that exact same 3% bump yields $120.
Ah, it widens the gap in absolute dollars every single year.
It drastically widens the gap.
Wow.
Think about it. When you are 85 years old and the cost of healthcare and basic living expenses has doubled, those compounded KEEK-OLE adjustments on a maximized age 70 benefit or would keep you financially solvent.
That makes total sense.
Delaying to 70 isn't just about trying to win a mathematical break-even game. It is the ultimate inflation shield for the most vulnerable decades of your life.
That completely reframes the decision. I mean, you aren't just letting the government hold your money. You are building a structural defense against inflation that outpaces whatever chaos the economy throws at you.
Exactly.
It goes right back to your central theme. This isn't a simple spreadsheet calculation. It requires navigating your health, your spousal obligations, and protecting your future purchasing power.
Could not have said it better. Well,
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope this uncovered the mechanisms behind the math so you can make the most informed decision for your own retirement. Keep exploring, keep questioning the conventional wisdom, and we'll catch you next time.